Let's calculate the monthly finance charge. So we are talking credit cards. Now, the first thing I want to say is there are 4 different ways that lenders can determine finance charges. We are only going to talk about one of those here today. So just keep that in mind that if you're like, I didn't think it was that way, there are others. We are focusing on one. So a finance charge. First of all, what is it? Well, a finance charge is the interest owed to a credit card company for the card owner's debt. Let's put this in other words. It's the cost of borrowing money and not paying the full balance on the due date. So this is like saying you borrow money from a friend, you don't pay them back when you're supposed to, and therefore you owe interest. Okay, that's what a finance charge is. If you do not carry a balance past your payment date, right? So when I say that, like there's a grace period on a credit card. So the bill is due, you have this grace period. As long as you pay the full balance at that point, you won't have a finance charge. And that's why, if used correctly, credit cards can be helpful, right? They allow you to pay for things at different times. The problem is when you carry a balance past the due date, then you have a finance charge. So finance charges, they are based on the annual percentage rate. And the lower your credit score, the higher your annual percentage rate, right? So if you have a high credit card or a high credit score, you will pay potentially lower interest on your credit card. It's just kind of how it works. The average APR is somewhere between 12 and 24%. Again, if you have a low credit score, you're going to be up closer to 24. And if you have a high credit score, you'll be closer to 12. All right. So how do we find a finance charge? Well, the finance charge is found by taking your annual percentage rate and dividing by 12. The reason we divide by 12 is because we make these payments monthly. So the annual percentage rate divided by 12 multiplied by the average daily balance. Again, remember there are 4 ways to calculate a finance charge. This is just one of them. So let's do an example. A shopper uses their credit card with an APR of 17.99%. If the average daily balance was $3,700, what is the finance charge? And then how much will the new balance be after the finance charge is included? All right, so first things first, let's find the finance charge. So again, remember, finance charge equals APR divided by 12 times the average daily balance. So what is our APR? 17.99%. Let's change that to a decimal. We divide it by 12. So 0.1799 divided by 12, multiplied by the average daily balance, which is 3,700. Now you can put this into your calculator all at one time by taking 0.1799 divided by 12 times 3,700. All at one time, no problem. And this gives us a finance charge of $55.47. So y'all, this is just interest. This is just extra money you're paying for borrowing that money and not paying it back on time. Okay, so this is like you get nothing for it. You just get to pay it for fun. So the new balance will be, I mean, assuming you carried over that 3,700 plus the 55.47. And this is what I'm saying, that you're just adding more to your balance with the interest. That's basically what this is all about. So moral of the story, only put things on a credit card if you can afford to pay them off on time, unless you're in a really big pickle. But that's, appropriate use of credit cards is important.